You're about to embark on a journey that will challenge everything you thought you knew about humanity's place in the universe. This is not a tale of heroic space exploration or first contact. It's a nightmare of abduction, transformation, and cosmic horror that becomes something more. Imagine waking up in a sterile pod, your body suspended in gel, surrounded by creatures beyond your comprehension. You're a prisoner, a test subject, a specimen to be studied and changed. But as the days stretch into an eternity of pain and confusion, you'll discover a truth more terrifying than any experiment. Earth is shrinking in the distance, and you're changing in ways you never thought possible. This story chronicles one person's descent into an alien existence. You'll witness the struggle to hold on to humanity in the face of forces beyond your control. You'll feel the terror of losing yourself piece by piece, only to gain something different. Something that might be greater than you ever imagined. But beware. As you read, you may find yourself questioning what it truly means to be human, and you may never look at the night sky the same way again. This is a tale of cosmic horror that evolves into a transformation beyond your wildest dreams or your darkest nightmares. Are you ready to lose yourself among the stars? I can't remember how I got here. The last thing I recall is walking home from work, the streetlights flickering as I hurried down the empty sidewalk. Now, I'm lying on my back, staring up at a smooth, pearlescent ceiling that seems to emit its own soft glow. I try to sit up, but my body feels wrong, too light, like I might float away at any moment. That's when I realize I'm not lying on a bed, but suspended in some kind of gelatinous substance. Panic sets in as I thrash around, my movements sluggish and uncoordinated. My pod, because that's what this is, some kind of containment pod, is barely large enough for me to stretch out my arms. The walls are translucent, allowing me to see blurry shapes moving beyond my prison. I pound on the surface, but it gives slightly under my fists, absorbing the impact. That's when I see them. Through the haze of my pod's walls, a figure approaches. At first I think it's human, but as it draws closer, I realize how wrong I am. Its body is too tall, too thin, with limbs that bend at impossible angles. The head is bulbous, with enormous almond-shaped eyes that seem to swallow all light. I want to scream, but no sound comes out. I realize with horror that there's some kind of mask covering my nose and mouth, feeding me air, or whatever passes for air in this place. The alien, because what else could it be, places a spindly hand against the outside of my pod. Its skin is gray and mottled, looking almost translucent under the strange lighting. Those impossibly large eyes blink slowly as it regards me with what I can only describe as clinical curiosity. I feel like a bug under a microscope. More of them appear, crowding around my pod. They make no sound that I can hear, but their mouths move in what might be speech. One of them manipulates something outside my field of vision, and suddenly, my pod begins to move. As we glide down a long corridor, I catch glimpses of other pods. Dozens, maybe hundreds of them. And in each one, I see the terrified face of another human. All of us trapped like specimens in some cosmic zoo. I don't know where we are or what they want from us. But as my pod comes to a stop in a vast chamber filled with strange machinery, one thought consumes me. I need to find a way out of here, before it's too late. Days blend together in this sterile nightmare. I've lost track of time, but I estimate it's been about a week since I first woke up here. The aliens have established a routine, if you can call it that. Every morning, though there's no real day or night here, a vibration runs through my pod, jolting me awake. The gelatinous substance drains away, leaving me shivering and exposed. A panel slides open, and I'm expected to crawl out into a small circular room. The first time, I refused to move. That was a mistake. Invisible forces seized me, dragging me out and slamming me against the cold floor. I learned quickly, comply or suffer. Once out of the pod, a fine mist sprays my body. It stings at first, but leaves me feeling clean and oddly energized. Food, if you can call it that, comes in the form of a tasteless gray paste that's dispensed from a wall panel. I hate it, but it's all I get. Then come the experiments. Sometimes they're almost bearable. The aliens prod me with strange instruments, take samples of hair and skin, or make me solve puzzles that would be simple if my mind wasn't clouded by terror and confusion. Other times, I can barely bring myself to think about those sessions. The pain is unlike anything I've experienced on Earth. They seem fascinated by our capacity for suffering, our biological responses to extreme stimuli. I've screamed until my throat was raw, begged in languages I didn't even know I could speak. But the worst part? The other humans. My pod is one of many in a vast chamber. During our brief periods outside the pods, I've tried to communicate with my fellow prisoners. Some are too traumatized to respond, their eyes vacant and hopeless. Others whisper frantically, trading snippets of information or desperate plans for escape. There's a woman in the pod next to mine. I don't know her name. The aliens punish us if we share personal information, but her eyes are kind. Yesterday, she mouthed something to me as we were being herded back to our pods. Earth. Gone. I've been trying to make sense of those two words ever since. What did she mean? Has something happened to our planet? Is that why we're here? As I lie in my pod, waiting for the next round of experiments, a chilling thought occurs to me. What if we're not just prisoners? What if we're refugees? The last remnants of humanity, preserved by our alien saviors for some unknown purpose. I need answers. And I have a feeling that when I get them, I'll wish I had remained ignorant. If anyone is reading this, if there's anyone left to read this, please send help. We're out here, lost among the stars, at the mercy of beings we can't begin to understand. And I fear that with each passing day, we're losing more than just our freedom. We're losing what makes us human. I don't know how long I've been here, but something's changed. The aliens are agitated. Their movements are quicker, more erratic. The experiments have become more intense, more focused. They're looking for something, testing us to our limits. It was during one of these new, grueling sessions that I overheard them. I shouldn't have been able to understand. Their language is all clicks and whistles. But somehow I did. Maybe it's a side effect of whatever they've done to us, or maybe I'm finally losing my mind. Either way, what I heard chilled me to the bone. The Earth subjects are not adapting as quickly as anticipated. We may need to accelerate the process. Agreed. Their planet's destruction was unforeseen, but it provides an opportunity. Without a home to return to, they will be more pliable. Earth's destruction. The words echoed in my head, confirming my worst fears. The woman in the pod next to mine was right. Earth is gone. We're all that's left. But why? Why keep us alive? Why run these endless tests? As I was mulled over these questions, alarms blared throughout the ship. The aliens scattered, their long limbs carrying them swiftly out of the laboratory. For the first time since my capture, I was alone, strapped to the examination table. That's when I heard it. A human voice, rough from disuse but unmistakable. "Hey, can you move?" I turned my head to see a man, gaunt and wild-eyed, crouched by the door. Somehow, he'd freed himself. I think so," I managed to croak. "Then hurry. We don't have much time." With shaking hands, I undid my restraints. My legs nearly buckled as I stood, but adrenaline kept me upright. The man, he said his name was Alex, quickly filled me in. A group of prisoners had been planning this for weeks, memorizing the aliens' routines, studying the ship's layout through glimpses caught during transport. "We've sabotaged their systems," Alex explained as we ran through eerily empty corridors. "It won't hold them for long, but it might be enough to find an escape pod or something." I wanted to ask him if he knew about Earth, if he had a plan for where we'd go if we did escape. But there was no time. Alarms were still blaring, and in the distance I could hear the angry clicks and whistles of our captors. We rounded a corner and came face to face with a group of fellow escapees. Their eyes were wide with a mixture of hope and terror. Among them, I saw the kind-eyed woman from the pod next to mine. She gave me a grim nod. "This way," Alex said, gesturing toward a large door at the end of the hall. "If the plans we saw are right, this should lead to—" He never finished the sentence. A bolt of energy struck him in the back and he crumpled to the floor. I turned to see a group of aliens advancing on us, their eyes cold and implacable. As my fellow prisoners screamed and scattered, I stood frozen, a horrible realization dawning on me. The ease of our escape, the conveniently empty corridors, it had all been too perfect. This wasn't an escape attempt. It was just another experiment. As the aliens surrounded us, herding us back toward the laboratory, I caught a glimpse through a viewport. The vastness of space stretched out before us, beautiful and terrifying. And in the distance, a blue-green orb that could only be Earth. They had lied. Or I had misunderstood. Our home wasn't destroyed, but we could never return to it. We were too valuable as test subjects, as the raw material for whatever sinister plans our captors had in store. As they strapped me back onto the examination table, I closed my eyes and tried to hold on to the image of Earth. It was still out there, still spinning. And as long as it existed, I had to hold on to hope. Hope that someone, somewhere, would find us. If you're reading this, please don't give up on us. We're still out here, fighting to remember who we are. And we need your help more than ever. I don't know how long I've been staring at the ceiling of my pod since they brought us back. Hours? Days? Time has lost all meaning here. The escape attempt changed everything, but not in the way I'd hoped. The aliens' behavior towards us has shifted dramatically. They no longer try to hide their true intentions. The experiments have become more invasive, more transformative. I catch glimpses of my fellow prisoners during our brief moments outside the pods, and I barely recognize them anymore. Some have developed strange, iridescent patches on their skin. Others move with an unsettling fluidity, their joints bending in ways that should be impossible for human anatomy. And their eyes, God, their eyes. They're changing, growing larger, darker, more like them. I realize now that this was the plan all along. They're not studying us. They're changing us, adapting us. But for what? The answer came during my last session on the examination table. As they injected me with another round of their transformative serums, I heard them discussing their great work. The hybridization process is accelerating as planned. Soon, they will be ready. And not a moment too soon. The council grows impatient. They demand results before we reach the new world. New world. The words echoed in my mind as I felt the alien chemicals burning through my veins. That's when it hit me. The horrible truth of our situation. Earth isn't gone. We're the ones who are leaving. They're taking us somewhere far beyond our solar system. And they're changing us to survive wherever we're going. We're not just test subjects, we're terraformers, living tools to adapt and colonize a world that would kill us in our current form. As I write this, I can feel the changes happening inside me. My thoughts are becoming different. Alien ideas and instincts creep in at the edges of my consciousness. I'm losing myself, piece by piece, but I refuse to let go completely. That's why I'm writing this, as a record, as a warning, as a desperate plea to anyone who might be listening. Yesterday, they moved my pod. For the first time, I have a clear view out of a large viewport. I can see Earth. It looks so small, so fragile, a blue marble suspended in the vast, uncaring void of space. And it's getting smaller by the day. I press my hand against the wall of my pod, reaching out towards that distant, dwindling light of home. Tears float away from my eyes in tiny, glistening droplets. Even crying feels alien now. I don't know how much longer I'll remember who I was, how much longer I'll be human enough to care, but I promise, I'll fight it as long as I can. I'll hold on to my humanity with everything I have left. If you're out there, if you're reading this, please don't forget us. We didn't choose this journey. We didn't ask to be changed. We're victims of a cosmic abduction, pawns in a game played by beings beyond our comprehension. Search for us. Find us. Save what's left of us. And if you can't, if it's too late, then remember us. Remember that we were here, that we existed, that we were human. Because soon I'm not sure I'll be able to remember that myself. This is my last transmission from the void, my final human thought. I hope it reaches you before we're gone forever. I don't know how much time has passed since my last entry. My thoughts are fragmented, alien. It's becoming harder to hold on to who I was, to remember Earth and what it meant to be human. The changes are accelerating. My skin has taken on a pale, translucent quality. I can see the network of veins underneath, pulsing with a bioluminescent fluid that I'm certain isn't blood anymore. My fingers have elongated, the joints more numerous and flexible. And my eyes. I caught a glimpse of my reflection in the pod's surface. They're huge now, black and depthless, like the endless void of space we're traversing. But something unexpected has happened. As my body has changed, so has my perception. I can sense things now, impossible things. The vast energies powering the ship, the thoughts and emotions of my fellow prisoners. No, fellow transformees. And beyond that, the yawning chasm of space-time itself, bending and warping around us as we hurtle towards our destination. The aliens no longer seem so alien. I understand them now, their language, their purpose. They call themselves the architects, shapers of worlds and species. Earth was never their target. We were. They saw in humanity a adaptability, a resilience that they needed. We're not their prisoners or their subjects. We're their legacy. The new world they spoke of? It's dying. Their civilization, ancient beyond human comprehension, is facing extinction. They need us, the new us, to carry on their work, to seed the galaxy with life, to shepherd the evolution of countless worlds. It should terrify me. Part of me, the part that still clings to my humanity, is horrified. But the rest sees the beauty in it, the purpose, the continuation of life, of consciousness, across the cosmos. As I write this final entry, I realize it's no longer a warning. It's a message in a bottle, cast into the sea of stars. A record of a transformation beyond anything humanity has ever experienced. To anyone who finds this, know that we're still out here. Changed, yes. Transformed, certainly. But the essence of what made us human, our curiosity, our resilience, our capacity for growth and change, that lives on. We carry the legacy of Earth with us, not as a memory, but as a seed that will bloom across the galaxy. Don't mourn for us. Don't try to save us. We're beyond that now. Instead, look to the stars with wonder. Know that out there, among the countless worlds, a piece of humanity lives on. We are the bridge between what was and what will be. And if, someday, you venture out into the depths of space and encounter beings that seem almost, but not quite, human, know that you're meeting your cousins, the children of Earth, reborn among the stars. This is no longer a plea for rescue. It's an invitation to join us in the greatest adventure humanity has ever known. The universe awaits, and we will be here to welcome you when you're ready. You've just witnessed a journey that defies the boundaries of human experience. What began as a terrifying tale of abduction and experimentation has transformed into something far more profound, a cosmic metamorphosis that challenges our very understanding of existence. From the sterile confines of an alien pod to the vast expanse of the universe, you've followed one soul's evolution from prisoner to pioneer. You've felt the anguish of losing humanity piece by piece, only to gain a perspective that spans galaxies and eons. This story leaves us with questions that echo across the stars. What does it truly mean to be human? Is our destiny bound to Earth, or are we meant for something greater? As our protagonist's final transmission fades into the cosmic background, we're left to ponder our own place in the universe. The terror of the unknown has given way to the wonder of infinite possibilities. The aliens we once feared are now understood as architects of a grander design, and humanity, in all its resilience and adaptability, has found a new purpose among the stars. As you return to your everyday life, carry with you this cosmic perspective. Look up at the night sky and wonder, are our transformed kin out there, seeding life across distant worlds? And if so, will we one day be ready to join them? This tale reminds us that in the vastness of the universe, transformation is inevitable. The only question is, will we embrace it when our time comes?